Welcome back to Wrestling with Ski. I don't know about you. I mean, it wasn't like most exciting, you know, night of wrestling ever. I mean, it did definitely have its, its good moments. So I can't call it a total loss, and it set up a lot of good stuff for later, which is really the important thing, But Kenny Omega and Alan Angel. I mean, I didn't get to see the first one that they were talking about from a year and a half ago, or whatever it was, but that was great. Like he looked really, really good in there with Omega, in my opinion. We all know I'm not the biggest. I mean, I'm a fan of what he does. I just look at him and I get angry. I don't know. There's something about him, but that was one hell of a match. I mean, they were laying into each other. They're doing everything they had to do. So I have no complaints about any of that, really, because that was really, good. And it actually wasn't like the normal irritating way that they seem to like to finish a lot of matches because someone always has to get involved. There's always something like that in so many matches. That happened a few times there on this episode of Dynamite. So, it's just good. Like, I mean, again, I didn't see the first one, so I didn't know what to expect. But when they started, I was like, damn, this is actually really, really good. So I was overall super impressed with it. And that's one of those, that's a good way to start off the night. Sadly, just like when they did their anniversary special and they had that great, 10-man tag? Like, sometimes you just hit the mark so high that it's hard for the rest of the night to, have a snowflake's chance at keeping up with it. Which, I mean, I'm not putting it just on them. Like, when the shows, look at all the ones with, any wrestling all together. Whether it's, AEW, WWE, NXT, like anything. Like, when they start out really on a high note, they still have to have all those other things in there. It's just so hard to keep everyone, hooked the whole time. Again, they've done it, before with great matches, WWE, Ring of Honor, like you name it. Like they start out good, and then and then there's the rest of the night, a bunch of spots where you're just going, oh, or maybe it's just me. It's a good possibility. It's probably not just me, but it could just be me. So, and the rest of the night, I mean, it did have its, good moments. It had lots of moments. There's, idiocy that was involved here and there. But that was a hell of a way to start out, and they're really good at starting out and keep, getting people all riled up at the beginning of the show, which is a good thing, And again, I still think everything we accomplished here for the most part was still better than 2.0. That 2.0 just felt like rushed with all those 13-second matches, which is up from yesterday when I said they were 12-second matches. So they have actually gotten a little longer. So final grades for all of that. I still say Raw was better than this to me. And again, I'm grading that strictly off of talking from SmackDown. Roman wasn't there, and it just, felt weird. And again, it was a bunch of who didn't see that coming stuff. So Raw's winning for the week right now. But it wasn't bad. And then, I mean, we went from Kenny Omega and Alan Angel, who again, that was amazing. I didn't see the first one, but if it was anything like that, then I get it. It was as good as they were hyping it up to be on commentary. I'm going to have to go back and find that. And then it goes to, CM Punk on the mic, which he's still good at regardless. What anyone says about him, the man can still talk. I know people don't like to give him credit and say he can talk, but the man can talk. Really, really well, actually, at that. So I'll get where all the hate comes from people, but and the part, when he told everyone, not to chant for him, there's no stage dive, that they should be chanting Moxley's name. That was a good thing, for that point, I agree with him though. A lot of what he said, I'd be damn proud of him too. Like I am, because I know a lot of people that have been in my life. Again, people that have taken their own life, and the veteran community, and all that, and people I've known outside of it. that have OD'd or anything. Like, it takes a great set of cojones to actually go out and reach out for help, like to seek help, to get to that point. Like, so pulling, I got this, it's under control. Like, it takes a lot to go and actually seek help. And I wish more of my people I knew would have. And he was right, spot on. And he said, if you're out there, ask for help. I mean, everyone should. I wish they would. So that was the great message put out there, regardless of what you think about the man, because it's true. I mean, suicide, it's touched pretty much everyone I know in some way. They know someone, or, overdosing, alcoholism, killing, like they, you know, lots of them I've known. So I'm just, good to hear, that message to put out there, and all the support that Mox has gotten since he went and did it, because I really do think that it takes a lot to actually get out there. And, especially when you're, in the tournament, we're all ready for him to go to the finals against, Brian. That's Brian Danielson, not Daniel Bryan. We all knew it was coming. And in that spot to still go, yeah, well, I can't anymore. Like, and again, he has a wife and kids, so good on him. But after he was done with that, he switched over to Eddie, Kingston, how he doesn't like being interrupted. And he wasn't there tonight, but he'll be, at Rampage St. Louis on Friday night. So he'll be there to accept, his apology. So we'll see whatever goes from that. I think it could be, if they go at it, it's going to be a slobber knock. I mean, there's going to be beating on each other. So, there's that. I thought that, the mock stuff I felt was, better and more important, because I, felt more, like, maybe it's just because I've known so many, like it was just more touching and from the heart and honest, to me. But overall, the point is the man going out there and talking, and the man can go out there and talk. So overall success. Backstage, Superclick's getting interviewed, and they get interrupted by Christian Cage. And then they back up a little bit more, and there's Luchasaurus, behind him, back from everything that happened because of the Superclick and all of that. And the normal all hell breaks loose. Suddenly they're all down there. Jungle Boy goes flying off the damn stage in his street clothes. Literally, I mean, Christian goes and hits a spear at one point, which, homage to, that was who that was for. And now it ended up with Luchasaurus chokeslamming, Nick Jackson onto Adam Cole. Jungle Boy puts the snare trap on Adam Cole till he's asleep, and then Christian gives us a good old fashioned concerto. Another good homage there. So I'm sure there's going to be a 6-man tag between, all of them at some point. Just the way it is. But the way they still pulled it off really well last night. Having everyone come back just out of nowhere after everything they've done. Like, I liked it. I thoroughly, that was one of those that I felt they did good. Everyone got their moments in there. Literally everyone got to have something. I'm going to put the super click down, which doesn't happen very often on there. They always find a way. So, and you got to see Luchasaurus and then back. So that was a good thing. Anytime you can see Christian, because he's still, after all those years of not being able to, he can still wrestle. Will he ever be what he was a million years ago? No, but does he still look damn good? Yes. So, what I'd like to see him stick around, do like an Edge and Christian reunion. Sure, possibly, maybe. But what he's doing now, the titles he's held throughout his time since he's been back, has been amazing. So good on him. Will we see that anytime down the road? Probably not. But like, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. That's the thing I think about Christian. But I think he should enjoy this run as much as he can. All those years off had to do wonders on his body. As long as he can protect himself, I said let him keep going. But it was good to see everyone back, and concertos and spears and all kinds of stuff being thrown in there. Because, I mean, no matter what, I mean, as long as they don't call it, he can still do it. And that is kind of what they're famous for. Then, hello, Seth, Roman, all of them. Randy, they all stole the concerto and did it to him. We had Edge at some point, and Edge was using it. So I liked it. I was okay with that whole, segment as a whole. Yeah, I mean, for backstage segment like that compared to some of the ones they've had and some of the ones, you see them in the machine and all that, like that wasn't bad. That's what I'm basing it off of. It's compared to some, that wasn't that bad, like at all. I've seen way worse. All of you have too. Then FTR successfully defends AAA tag titles against Aerostar and Samurai Del Sol, aka the artist formerly known as Kalisto. Wondering where he was all this time. So it was good to see him back. But normal stuff, the handful of tights, all the normal stuff that FTR does, they walk away with the victory. Again, I never really liked them, but in this situation, makes sense. Went along with it. And again, it's not their wrestling. Yeah, there's just something about them. I don't know. Them all the credit in the world, they're super talented. I can never do what they do, so I'm not trying to bash on them for that or anything. But I don't know. Really, it was just because you could tell they didn't fit in the machine at all. Like it just wasn't gonna work. Like it works better what they're doing now in AEW. Like it works a lot better than it did in the machine. But I just can't get over like how much because they came out and like at one point they had them doing such dumb stuff, like which you hated, and you hated that they were stuck in that situation doing that stuff. It was one of those weird situations. But they did the thing. Wouldn't be the last time we saw them for the night. Inner Circle comes out, announces who they're picking from American Top Team, and after Dan Lambert runs his suck hole, which he's very good at. I have to give him credit for. I do give the man credit for that. Yeah, I mean, start that team with like 25 years ago, to build it, with all the people that they had, who they still have, and all that. To be doing this, to be talking that way, like the man plays it, knows his role, and he plays it impeccably. But Jack Hager talks, picks Junior Joe Santos, who, again, his time in the UFC was great. Most, I believe, heavyweight wins. Jack did rag on him for, his last one lasting like 17 or 27 seconds, something like that. They talked about him being undefeated in Bellator, the normal stuff, MMA fighter, whatever. Santana picked Andre Arlovsky, who, again, like he was great his time in the UFC, and he did a few episodes of Bully Beatdown. If you remember the show, you remember the show. And then just the part, Paige grabs the mic and asks Jericho to pick her because she could take all five of them on at once, and like all of our brains went to the same exact spot. And she pulled it off so well. Made it look natural to me, or I was just too busy laughing. Like, no. Oh, they went there. Jericho had the line after, whether it was planned out or not, like it was still a good one. And apparently from what I've seen, people are doing lots of searches for her on the internet now. So hey, you got her name out there. Whatever. But we all get our normal jokes, and Jericho picks Dan Lambert as the third guy because he came out and announced himself as the number one member of American Top Team. First ever. So he's now going to be in there. So I know they're not going to, let him get walloped too bad. We all know that. They're going to protect the guy, but just to see him, see what he's gotten, to see him get, a little bit of a beating on him for hurting my head and doing it as well as he has. I mean, like he has just one of those abilities to just piss people off with that damn mouth of his. So I'm not saying it as a bad thing. It's just to see him get his, at least a little bit of his. And really, I want to see what Junior and Andre really add to it. How they look in the ring and all that after, their MMA stuff. Like that's a big one for me. Really, in the match, cares. I mean, everyone in it. But I want to see what those guys can do in the ring, because we've seen a lot of guys go from there to, wrestling, and some have worked out, some haven't. We've seen wrestlers go from wrestling to MMA. Some have worked, some haven't, depending on your definition of it. Have worked, but yeah, I'm really that's the big one there. I want to see what they're gonna, how they're gonna look, because again, it's a whole nother world, and they were really good at what they did in the UFC. Like, everyone knows who they are. So I just want to see how it's gonna go when they're in the ring. But God bless Paige Van Zandt for picking up a microphone and saying she could take all 5 of them on at once. Thank you, because I needed that laugh after the idiocy from last night and piss puddles and all kind. Like, I needed that. So see how that goes out. Jamie Hayter, defeated Anna Jay. She had Rebel and Britt at her side. As Anna looked better than the last time I saw her, which didn't take much. Again, it just something just felt off about the whole entire match. To me, I think me and Justin and Dan might have covered that, or me and Justin. Like, it just didn't flow right. But Rebel and Britt one distracts the referee, one distracts Anna. Anna gets her head taken off. Anna loses. Now the 3-on-1 beat down. Then Ty Conti came down to save her, for a little bit there, and she did actually, she looked better than when I saw her in the matches doing stuff. So I don't know how they're going to play it off, and then having her get them take control of Ty after a while, and having Thunder Rosa came out was great. It's always good to see Thunder Rosa and throw it all in there, even things. See what they do with all of them. See how they use Thunder. With all the tournaments going on and all this stuff, like, it was, again, wasn't a bad thing. Wasn't even like that bad of a match for a women's match. I mean, it wasn't the greatest women's match you'll ever see, but compared to some of the ones you see, it wasn't atrocious. It wasn't like cover your eyes and run like hell level stuff. So that's the positive I'll take away from that. It's always good to try to find a positive out of something. There's a lot of positives out of MJF with Darby and all that, Now, when MJF ran to suck him, he tried to leave when Darby, showed up. And by the way, like, MJF being able to work those cameras like that all over God's creation, going from here to there, to all of them, be able to move, and everything moving so fluidly. Whoever doing that was great. But he tried to leave, and there was Sting on the ramp with his bat, and then came out all those people in black with the Darby looking mask over their face, just cut out. That was weird. There's more of them, so it wouldn't be Spears and Wardlow going after Sting alone. So there was a whole group of people, but it forced MJF back down, and then he did go into the crowd after Darby, and they did have pretty. I mean, it was good there. Seeing him Darby part the Red Seas and land that clothesline over to the barricade and just get right back up, that was good. Whether you like him or not, that was good. That looked really good. And for a crowd thing, that was good. There's people all around all that stuff. On the normal where, they're fighting in the crowd, but it's in an area where there's barely pretty much no one there. You don't get to see a real good, crowd fight all that often. I get, liability and all kinds of stuff involved with that. But that was really, I thoroughly enjoyed the segment. Darby talked good. MJF talked good. Did his normal MJF thing, but whatever, that's his point. That clothesline over the barricade though, that was clean and good, and they did it beautifully. MJF ran off, normal, but that was, they let them get right up near the people and actually involved, and I think that's way better than saying they're fighting in the crowd, but they're not actually near anybody. I get it. Again, when you're going to be fighting in the crowd, get as much space as you can, so you're not landing on people and all that, or chancing hurting anyone because of liability and how much people love to sue people nowadays. But that was a good one. I liked it. Tell me if I'm wrong. It's okay. I get called all kinds of things. Wrong just happens to be one of them. And then Andrade, and when Cody had the match, Andrade, won, but Malachi was banned from ringside. It wasn't the worst match I've ever seen. Cody, and both of them did a good job. Again, I just this situation, Cody, he was getting some cheers. So that was, a good thing. Andrade plays his role like he can wrestle. I don't know. There's just something about him that just doesn't turn me on. Like the guy, doesn't make me go, ooh, I want to see that. Yeah, I was matching all that, and it's nothing against him. Because again, anyone that sees him like knows he can wrestle. Like he really, really can wrestle. I'm not trying to take anything away from that. There's just something about him that, I just, it doesn't get me excited to see it. I don't know if that makes any sense. I think it does, but great wrestler. I mean, for the English skills he has, like with that thick of an accent, like he can still talk and you can understand the guy. So it's nothing that. I mean, WWE didn't do him any damn favors. Like I like this Andrade better than that Andrade, but didn't take much to like it better than WWE Andrade because that was just bad. But wasn't a bad match, but Cody's doing his thing, jumps over, all kinds of stuff. FTR pops out from under the ring, hits Cody with both tag titles, rolls back under the ring. Andrade throws him back in. Matt, bada boom, match is over. Arn and Tully looked like they were going to go at it though, so that was We know we're not going to let them take the bumps and be in harm's way probably anymore. But a good old face, stare down between those two with the history they have, is good. And then the Lucha Bros came in, the AEW tag champs, to disperse everybody out. So sooner or later they're gonna have, that match is coming between the two of them. So I look forward to that because I like the Lucha Bros. And again, FTR there, like they fit better there. They're just and they're it's not a talent thing or anything. It's something about looking at them. They play the role well. They can wrestle. It's just something about it just hurts my brain. I'm sorry. I really am, but it mind numbing, which moves us on to the main event where Miro was chosen to replace Mox in the tournament. And he just, Orange did put up a fight and did his Orange Cassidy stuff, but we all knew how that was going to go if Mox was in there. They gave him a little bit more offense than I thought he would, get, and who knows what would have happened if it was Mox, but Miro got to be put in there, which carried on his thing. But Orange got just beat to death. Brian was on commentary, which was good. And then after, Miro got the win with whatever he calls that now. His submission there. Brian came down to, shake hands and went off the air with him. His hand extended, Miro backing away. But that one I'm really looking forward to. Just with, more freedom that they have now because of where they are compared to the Machine. But still, the two of their styles and all that, like I think that could tear the house down level stuff. It was a great replacement to pick. Now, who do I think's gonna win between the two of them and go on to the title? I'm guessing Brian. Bring him in there with all that momentum. I'm guessing that as of now, but throwing Miro in there, you could see why they wouldn't do it for the situation. But I don't know, I'm still thinking Brian on that. If it was both him and Mox, who knows? But I'll probably push towards Brian there too. But him and Miro, just the talent they have, contrasting styles, especially contrasting like where their characters are now that they're over there. Brian's still very Brian, but Miro's, on another level. So I think it's gonna be one hell of a match. I'm actually really looking forward to it. If you aren't, think you're crazy. I think those two are gonna absolutely tear the house down. I think it's gonna be phenomenal. I really, really do. I'm really actually, I think everyone's looking forward to that one. He was a fitting replacement for that with all the vignettes he was doing and all that. Like him being in the title picture now, just in a way it fits, especially with his win-loss record. He's the next guy down on the list with all that. So I think it'll be a hell of a match. I'm looking forward to it. Just gotta see how they're gonna build everything until we get to that point. Excuse me. So I gotta wait and see on that. But otherwise, overall, not a bad night. Not a great night, but it's really not even like FTR's fault or Andrade's fault. There's not my thing. But we had some laughs. We had some good matches. We had some great stuff on the mic. And that's really what you need. Is just then they keep giving you these great opening matches. And then sooner or later, the balloon's gonna pop. So it's a problem with all of them though. This isn't me just picking on them in particular. So looking forward to it. And again, it beat out 2.0 because 2.0 just felt. They fit a lot into the show, but it wasn't like a bunch of 13-second matches. I think there's at least 3 of them on 2.0. Like, what the hell is the point of any of that? Like, the entrances were longer. Like, you could have just done without it. It didn't help anyone. So that's my big thing with that. So now we gotta see what SmackDown does tomorrow night. Yeah, I'm sure Roman will be back, and that'll take things up a little bit. It was weird not having him there, but it is what it is. Overall, though, good mic work. Anna Jay looked better than the last time we saw her in a match. MJF did his thing. Miro was a good pick. Like, there's a lot of good stuff out of that. So, and all the support we've seen for Mox from across the wrestling world since, made the decision to go into an inpatient, alcohol facility to get help. Like, that's really good as they all come together as a community. Like, the whole wrestling, like all kinds of people saying all kinds of stuff because a lot of people understand that struggle. So, because that normally touches a lot of people's lives. So, overall, good night. And I look forward to what they're going to do, tomorrow night on Rampage. See what happens with Punk and Eddie and all that. Like, so I'd give it a success for the day. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Again, follow on all the platforms. It only takes a few seconds. Just, subscribe, follow, whatever, like, whatever they ask you to do. So you can always get updated, comment on them, leave some ratings on the Facebook and all them. So on the page, so I know what I'm doing, know how you people think I'm doing. Comment away, like, share, comment, and repeat on all the videos. And I'll be back tomorrow with a special. As there's no wrestling to talk about, we'll just go off the cuff stuff tomorrow. So stick around for that. Check it out. I appreciate y'all. Enjoy the rest of your night without any wrestling to watch tonight, unless you're catching up on stuff. And until tomorrow, my friends, peace.